Right now at 6, a community pays its respects to a Christian County, Missouri deputy sheriff and his wife are laid to rest.
And we're going from partly to even some mostly cloudy skies out there this morning. Hot and muggy rain chances on the way. A look at all of that coming up.
Plus, a new housing development in Carthage highlights the city's continued growth.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday, July the 11th.
Yes.
Made it through another week. Made it through the first week of July.
We did.
And it's been a bit hot here and there. And
muggy, yeah. It was sticky out there.
That certainly was. Boy, yesterday morning, those humidity and dew point levels climbed pretty quick, and it was pretty uncomfortable. But worry not, it'll get comfortable again. Take a look downtown Pittsburgh, 4th and Broadway. You can see we've got some clouds building in out there. So we have a mix right now of partly to mostly cloudy skies in locations. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline in Joplin looking good. And you see that giant sun painted on the back of that truck? Yeah, we're going to see plenty of that today, which is going to give us plenty of heat again today as well. I think that's actually the sun probably being delivered right now. All right, so we do have the chance for some stronger storms later. No tornado risk areas highlighted, but again, after 10, some of the stronger storms, we could get some isolated damage, large hail, and some isolated damaging wind gusts out there. So not a widespread severe weather event, but some of those storms could get a little bit on the strong side again late this evening into the overnight hours. By noon, still looking pretty similar to what we saw yesterday. A few isolated shower storms in our far western counties, and then later in the evening we get a little round of showers and storms still in our western counties. It kind of fizzles out, and once we reach 10, we'll get another batch of showers and storms, and it's those ones as they push through the area that could bring that strong to low grade severe thunderstorm risk. Temperatures this morning, they're going to come down a little more, and we'll eventually reach our official lows here in the next little while, but still very warm out there. 77 in both Joplin and in Pittsburgh. And take a look at temperatures around the region. Monette, still the cool spot at 73. And Chanute, still the warm spot at 79. Most of us into the upper 70s as we get this day started. And again, eventually temperatures drop a wee bit more. We'll reach our lows, and then they're going to turn around and heat right back up again. Low 80s by 9. We'll go upper 80s by noon. Low 90s for our highs again. Isolated storm chances out there. Heat index values today, once again, could approach 100 degrees. And while it will be windy, the wind will do us no good. It's not a cool breeze by any means, but it'll be out of the southwest, occasionally gusting to 25. So our storm chances begin to pick up again late tonight into the weekend. We'll break down those details for you. And when our next cool down arrives here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, in Christian County, Missouri, yesterday, the sheriff's office and community said goodbye to one of their own. A procession and funeral honored Deputy Sheriff Mike Adams and his wife, Ashley. They died after a head-on crash with a potentially impaired driver, according to the sheriff's office. Adams was an Air Force veteran and previously served in 2 other sheriff offices in Missouri before he and his wife moved to Christian County. Now, he had been a member of the sheriff's office since November of 2022. For his service, Adams received full military honors during his burial. The suspect in that fatal crash is 40-year-old Garrett Cleaver of Webb City. Authorities say Cleaver was fleeing from a traffic stop near Highlandville, Missouri on the night of June 30th when he crossed the center line and hit another car head-on. The 2 people in that other car were Adams, who was off duty at the time, and his wife, Ashley. Both died at the scene. Their infant daughter was also injured and hospitalized. She has since been released. Cleaver is now charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, fleeing a stop resulting in death, and other related crimes. The Christian County Sheriff's Department says Cleaver has a criminal history in multiple states. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Carthage is booming with new housing developments. Just yesterday, a ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating a new housing addition by Ledford Construction Development. Now, it's the latest in a series of new projects in Carthage. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on how the city is embracing its recent growth.
With the cut of a ribbon, another housing development makes its mark in Carthage. The second major housing development to open within the past month.
To have a portfolio like this and the housing and these developers and realtors in our community that want to build here and develop here is a great asset.
According to the Carthage Chamber of Commerce, these developments, along with various new business openings, highlight the recent boom in the city.
And I think it's important that those that are looking to get out of the hustle and bustle of a busy life to come to a more family-friendly type of community, we have that here to offer right here in Carthage.
It's the exact reason companies like Ledford Construction and Development are so ready to make an investment in the community.
The community, we like it, and we're wanting to make a go of it.
It's a beautiful area. We're from this area. We're from Joplin, Carthage, Webb City, so this is just kind of an area that we've branched out to, and there's a need for new homes in this area.
And housing is a need Carthage knows. A housing study from this year found that Carthage would need more than 600 additional housing units by the year 2040 to meet their projected population needs. That study goes on to say while the current volume of housing stock may suffice in the short term, there is limited flexibility for accommodating further fluctuations in demand.
To have these developers recognize that and have the land and seek out the land and those opportunities is going to help us overall fulfill that need. With that brings a lot of economic development. We become a lot more attractive to businesses and industries because there's places for their employees to live.
And that's something the Chamber of Commerce wants to see happen.
We're eager to have them open their business here. We have great restaurants, great industry. The jobs are here. Let us help you and let's get you moved over here.
A feat developers are working more and more to make happen for the growing town.
We're excited about it. We'd like to do what we can do to offer new homes for everybody.
Reporting in Carthage, Samantha Walker, KWM News.
Ledford Construction Development says they already have several homes built in this new development. The owners say they've had a lot of interest from home buyers. Well, some changes are on the horizon for the Joplin Regional Airport. At yesterday's morning's airport board meeting, it was revealed the rehabilitation of runway 1331 is expected to be done by mid-October. There's also plans for a new climate-controlled boarding bridges. Also discuss the future of the airport as a whole.
We do want to look forward. We want to see where the community wants to go. Because of course our capacity is as an advisory capacity for the city manager through the Public Works Division of the City Council.
A committee is expected to be formed to work on planning for the future. And it was a big day for Apex Stages in Pittsburgh. The company broke ground yesterday on a $1.7 million expansion that will double its facility size. They built hydraulic mobile stage trailers you can see at concerts and festivals, and they've been doing it for more than 20 years. The Pittsburgh Chamber says business is booming for Apex, and this will help them meet demand. The company wants to be up and running by Christmas, and they're already hiring people to fill the new jobs. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, President Trump is set to visit Kerrville 1 week after deadly floods ripped through parts of Texas. And we are tracking rain chances for the next few days. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, college students who took out loans under the Biden-era SAVE repayment plan are on the clock again on one kind of payment. Now, the Department of Education said Wednesday it's restarting interest charges on student loans taken out under the Saving on a Valuable Education plan, called SAVE for short. The DOE says it's urging SAVE loan holders to quickly transition to other repayment plans. The Trump administration considers the SAVE plan to have been illegally instituted because it says the Biden administration didn't have authority to put borrowers in a zero interest rate status. And it's been 1 week since catastrophic flooding changed lives and land in Central Texas. Today, President Donald Trump and the First Lady are headed to the epicenter, the city of Kerrville, to speak with leaders and the community as the death toll has risen to more than 120 people. More than 170 are still unaccounted for. Jared Hill has the latest.
Combing through every inch of Texas's flash flood alley, it's still all hands on deck as more than 2,000 search and rescue crews try to find any of the people still missing after last week's disaster.
I think that everyone who lives here knows somebody who has been affected.
Alden Towler rode out the flood in his attic with his mom, a neighbor, and her 1-year-old daughter.
Having a 1-year-old infant in your arms, as a mom, I just can't even imagine what she was going through.
During a walk along the banks of the Guadalupe River, University of Texas climatologist Jay Banner explained the area's natural risks.
The warm, moist air mass is rising due to the topography of the steep walled valleys, funneling this water very quickly.
He says that should be a part of the equation when thinking about future development. Satellite images show Camp Mystic, where there were more than 700 children reshaped by floodwaters. Since 2016, the camp has built at least 7 structures in or near the flood risk area outlined by FEMA flood maps. In 2020, the county adopted rules to limit new builds in floodways to make sure structures could survive a flood. In Kerrville, a growing memorial for the growing number who didn't survive.
I think it's important to give people a place where they can, pay their respects.
President Donald Trump and the First Lady are expected to be among them later today, touring the damage from this devastating disaster. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Around the state of Texas, people are also tying green ribbons around trees to honor the people who've died in the floods, including more than 20 children and counselors from Camp Mystic. The color green is associated with the all-girls Christian camp. And still to come, a new study shows that the HPV vaccine nearly eliminates cervical cancer risk for adult women. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, a group of Girl Scouts in Minnesota got some hands-on experience Wednesday working with power tools and pros in the industry. Jill Van Ryan shows us how they are breaking barriers and building confidence.
We are at Camp Lacamaga today, and this is our 3rd day of Power Girls Camp. And so we have Opus and Ryan partnering with us to build a mini golf course with some of our youngest Girl Scouts. A lot of folks think about Girl Scouts and they think cookies, camps, and crafts, and we are so much more than that. This is like a supercharged craft though, when I think about it. We really want to make sure that we're exposing girls to all their potential pathways. And so when you think about the trades and using your hands and getting creative, we want to make sure that we're exposing our girls early to what that looks like.
You see them first kind of get discouraged and feel like they don't want to participate, and then you give them just that little pointer to make it easier. And then when they do it successfully, like their whole attitude changes and they want to do the next one, do the next one.
There's like a lot of steps to it and a lot of measuring. And it takes a lot of time and perseverance. You get to learn how to use stuff that can maybe help you in the future.
Girl power is really strong today. They're learning confidence. They're also working as a team. They're doing problem solving. They're learning how to read plans, which is great for their spatial awareness. And I'd say confidence really is the most fun to watch.
It's all women. There's only probably one male in here. So that shows that women can power anything.
It's kind of really scary because you can take a risk that you wouldn't really usually do. It really shows that any gender could do anything and that we're all powerful and we can all do something that's out of our comfort zone.
The girls were building a mini golf course. Now it will be finished later today and will remain a feature for future campers. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a hot and muggy day lined up for us once again out there, and we have increasing storm chances. A full look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:21 coming up on 6:22 now on this Friday morning. We do have thunderstorm chances. Initially isolated storms this afternoon and slightly more scattered storms late tonight. And some of those could bring some large hail with them or some damaging wind gusts. So not a significant severe weather event, or at least in terms of coverage, but still could get some strong to low grade severe thunderstorms out there. So here's what we're looking on the future track. One thing hasn't really changed that much since yesterday's afternoon. Get some isolated showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms in our western counties. And then we'll get another little round of shower storms here by, let's say, mid-early evening, about 7 or so. And then after that, we get the actual cluster of thunderstorms that will start to push in after 10 o'clock tonight. And some of those storms, as we go through the overnight hours, could be strong to low-grade severe. And again, that's going to bring that hail and damaging wind risk. It continues into Saturday morning, and we'll have another round of potentially strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms out there. That round pushes on through the morning hours, and then we'll get additional development that'll take place mainly in the southern, let's say 2/3 of our area. So more showers, more storms as we go into Saturday afternoon. Then they'll start to clear on out, and then we'll get another round as we go into early Sunday morning. It's about 4 or 5 a.m. coming up from the south this time. More scattered showers and storms, and by 8 o'clock you can see them lining up along the I-44 corridor. And some of those could also be strong to low-grade severe as well. So breaking down our risks for tomorrow once we get through the into the morning. Again, no tornado risk areas highlighted, which is good, but we do have the isolated wind and hail risk out there, and we'll have the same isolated severe threat as we go into Sunday. But you can see it's the southern, in this case, almost the southern half of our area by Sunday. And again, wind, hail, the primary concerns with any of the stronger storms we may see on our Sunday. Take a look at those clouds. It actually looks pretty nice out there. That sunrise. We've got a mix of partly to, in some cases, mostly cloudy skies this morning. It should be partly cloudy through the morning. Future track early had hinted at maybe a stray shower or two this morning in our far western counties. It's not very likely, but an isolated sprinkle or two is possible. We're going to be near 80 by 8 o'clock this morning, heating up into the mid-80s by 11 a.m. That's ahead of our highs, once again cruising into the low 90s. Isolated storms into the afternoon. Southwest winds gusting to 25, and heat index values today easily reaching close to 100 degrees again. Isolated storms to the evening, as I mentioned, after 10, as well we'll start to see scattered thunderstorms, and that's where that strong to low-grade severe threat starts to kick in. Low 70s, southwest winds gusting upwards of 20, and we go through the weekend. So here's the deal. You know our thunderstorm chances Saturday, Sunday, southern 2/3 of our area, and even on Sunday, the southern half. Even though you may not get rain this weekend, you're going to probably get a lot of the cloud cover from the storms off to your south. So we all should start to fall a little below normal, back into the mid-80s. A little closer to normal Monday. Storm chances beginning to wind down by Monday. Tuesday, yeah, whatever. Low to mid-90s, and those heat index values climbing once again for us. But Mother Nature gives us a nice little gift. A few more scattered storms possible Wednesday. Temperatures, though, dropping below normal through at least Friday before we start to heat back up into next weekend. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, being physically active as an adult lowers your risk of death by 30 to 40% later in life. A study published by the British Journal of Sports Medicine found people who were consistently active got the most benefit, but even people who did not exercise but started becoming more active had a 20 to 25% lower risk of death. Researchers say their findings show it's never too late to start exercising. And encouraging news about the HPV vaccine. A study in Denmark looked at adult women who were vaccinated as young girls and found the types of HPV that cause most cervical cancers has been almost completely eliminated among vaccinated women. Researchers say vaccination rates in Denmark are high enough to suggest they've reached herd immunity, and regular cervical cancer screenings may no longer be needed. And children with multiple health issues often face severe emotional stress. Researchers with the University of Plymouth looked at social media posts by kids suffering from conditions like cancer, asthma, and chronic pain. They found the majority of patients showed signs of sadness, fear, and high emotional distress. The authors of the study say mental health care needs to be provided to children with long-term health conditions. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. Stick around, we'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Missouri's governor signs a law repealing the state's sick leave and minimum wage mandate just 8 months after voter approval.
And we've got some clouds out there making for a nice sunrise at 7th and Range Line. Hot, muggy today, rain chances as well. Look at all that coming up.
Plus, Southwest Missouri sees a rise in snake bites. We'll learn what you can do to protect yourself and still have fun outdoors.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday. Friday in a way.
Friday indeed.
It's July the 11th now, making it through the first full week of July. And hasn't been awful. It was uncomfortable yesterday, but really summertime really hasn't been that.
It really hasn't.
Bad to us so far. But it is going to be hot and muggy again today, but then we've got some rain chances, so temperatures will drop again, and then they'll heat up and they'll drop again. We'll go over all that with you, but first, let's get your Friday started with this. This is a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and you can see those clouds on the horizon, and they're a little more visible in the camera we've got at 7th and Range Line in Joplin, but still making for a pretty nice start to the day. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looks good as well as we get this Friday underway. Now, with our thunderstorms late tonight, and actually through the weekend, we do have chances for strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms out there. Our hail risk at this point, it's an isolated risk as it is, but it's also confined way into our northwestern corners of our area. The bigger concern with the stronger storms is maybe some damaging wind gusts out there. So we'll keep an eye, of course, on all of that for you. And these risks will really increase after about 10 o'clock. Now, it doesn't mean I don't mean increase like to significant severe weather status. I mean, it just means there will be more storms, and a couple of those could be on the strong side. Future track, by noon, we're still looking pretty similar to what we saw yesterday. We'll have a few isolated showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms initially confined into our far western counties. And then once we reach about 10, we start to see thunderstorms off to our north that'll begin to push in and push southeast. And it's those storms as they roll in that, again, could become strong to low-grade severe out there. As for right now, it is warm already. Temperatures will still drop just a bit more to our official lows, and then we're going to start to heat back up again. 77 Joplin and Pittsburgh, and across the region, temperatures are again quite mild. Monette still looks to be the cool spot at 73, and Chanute now with Iola tied for the warm spot at 79 apiece. 79 at 6:30 in the morning. This isn't New Mexico. All right, it shouldn't be this hot, but it already is pretty warm this morning, and it's going to continue to heat up into the afternoon. Low 80s by 9, partly cloudy skies, upper 80s by noon, low 90s for our highs. Those isolated storm chances, southwest winds gusting to 25, and our heat index values today once again approaching about 100 degrees. So if you are outdoors, just make sure you're staying hydrated, taking care of yourself. Now, as I mentioned, though, temperatures fall below normal this weekend with our rain chances. We'll go over those details with you and talk about the next temperature drop here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. So Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe yesterday signed into law a repeal of a voter-approved paid sick leave and minimum wage law. Voters in the Show Me state approved the law just 8 months ago, but the governor, who also signed a package of tax breaks, described the law as, quote, an onerous mandate that imposed burdensome record keeping. Now, the sponsor of the Worker Benefit Ballot Initiative said, quote, the governor signing this bill is an absolute betrayal to families who felt forced to go to work instead of staying home to care for a sick child. A proposed ballot initiative is already in the works that would reinstate the repealed provisions, but would have the additional protections as a constitutional amendment. And the Missouri governor also signed a bill into law that encourages college students to report hazing and to stay with the victim. Danny Santoli was a student at the University of Missouri in 2021 who became permanently disabled in a hazing incident. This law was enacted so no other college students in Missouri have the same story.
This law does essentially, it says that if you witness a hazing incident and you're the first person to call 911, and you stay on the scene and you answer questions to tell those who are coming to help where you're located, what the situation is, what the trouble is, provide all the information that they ask for. If you stay on the scene and do all of that, you will be immune from criminal prosecution under the state's criminal hazing law.
Colleges like Missouri State University have updated their hazing policies proactively because of Danny's Law and have implemented this type of encouraging students to call emergency services without fear of prosecution. Well, beware of snakes. It's a warning from Joplin's Mercy Hospital. Doctors say they're seeing an alarming rise in venomous snake bites just since the holiday weekend. Now, while Mercy says summer typically brings 1 or 2 snake bite cases a year, hospital staff have already treated 5 patients, and one case was so severe it had to be transferred to a different facility. Medical professionals are urging the public to stay alert and to take extra precautions while enjoying the outdoors.
Commonly, it's people walking in places like high grass, places they can't see. The majority of the bites we see, both venomous and non-venomous, are to the extremities. So hands and feet are by far the most common.
Well, Dr. Hadfield goes on to say some bites are dry bites. He says if you feel pain or swelling in a matter of hours, you should seek medical attention. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps, as well as our website. You can watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. The Joplin Police Department turned up the vibes and cooled things down with their second summer block party at Schifferdecker Pool. From 4 to 6 yesterday evening, families soaked up free swimming and devoured hot dogs, while kids had a blast checking out emergency vehicles and jumping into fun activities. It was the perfect way to chill out, hang with the community, and meet some real-life heroes.
You can learn about our vehicles out here. You can talk to anybody. You can talk to any of us and just have a good time with it. We live in a wonderful community and we have a lot of support, and so we just want to give back and be with everyone.
The Joplin Police Department plans to hold their next free swimming pool party night on August 8th. Well, Carthage Show Choir students are busy preparing for the upcoming season. This week, they're learning the music, and once school starts, they'll work on the choreography. This year's themes are circus for the girls and Carmen Sandiego for the mixed choir.
People see it as music, which that's what we do. It's a lot of what we do, 100%, but it's also a community. It's a family. It's a safe place, and it just brings a sort of comfort that not a lot of things offer.
The singers tell us show choir is a place for everyone to find their voice. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's Friday, and that means Shannon Becker joins us with his big 3 stories of the week. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. This morning we have Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Shannon, how are you?
I'm good. Big traffic jam.
Right.
Anybody going I-49 south this morning between Joplin and Neosho. So avoid it. It's going to be hours long.
Absolutely.
It's going to take a long time.
All right.
Let's take a look at the big 3 though right now. All right. This was it in Grove. Could be a federal offense. It was a police pursuit that went onto the Grove Airport runway. I mean, this is, and a plane was landing, and the plane was the pilot said, "Hey, he's over here in this area." So he'd gone off the end of the runway. There was no collision or anything like that. It was a stolen truck out of McDonald County.
Wow.
There was a female that was taken into custody in that pickup truck. The male is still at large. There are some warrants for his arrest. They have not released his name.
Okay.
Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now: stolen car fleeing the cops in Webb City. You see that vehicle there, Jeep Cherokee, and then hits a pole. Doink.
Wow.
Yeah. Hit that utility pole, knocked some power out to some people. This was earlier in the week. That vehicle fled Webb City and then all the way down Range Line. Did you see some of this?
Look at that.
There he is, the man facing multiple charges. And we're talking about some serious charges.
Right.
In all, I think there were 8 Most of them are felonies. Assault on an officer. He swerved to hit 2 different officers. He did hit a 3rd officer. So that's a certain kind of offense. Yeah.
Especially in that busy street.
Yeah. He's known to law enforcement and even us. I've heard of who he is before. You can read more about it on our website, KOAM News Now. And then a tragedy is our number 1 story. A pickup truck overturns into a tree and a Carthage teen dies in Dunaweg earlier this week.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, tragic. The list goes on and on. This young man just graduated from Carthage High School, 2025. All of his friends, the night of when he had passed away, they all gathered there where he had died on that road, talking, sharing, and also doing burnouts, which is, a kid thing, which I'm not really that familiar with, but
no, neither am I.
They shared some time together, and it's still a time of healing. I know Carthage schools have counselors available, and so if kids need to talk, or even parents or anybody in the community. Our bonus story, this is a fun one. I'm looking forward to the weekend at Wolf Creek, the Wolf Creek Nationals in Grove. Now, these are drag boats. Have you ever heard of this? Like 200 miles an hour.
I can't believe it. It sounds amazing.
So you can check it out. Just buy your ticket when you get there. You just go into Wolf Creek. It's a little swimming area. Look how fast he takes off.
Oh, wow. That must be so cool to see in person.
So we're talking like this is the premiere. You want to check it out. Tonight, it's a meet and greet with, you can see the boats up close. You can meet all the racers and stuff like that. That's downtown in Grove, starting at 5. And then Saturday and Sunday, both all-day racing on Grand Lake of the Cherokees. It'll be fun.
Lovely. Absolutely.
It's our bonus.
There you go. Well, Shannon, as always, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Happy to have you as always. Stick around. We'll be right back.
All right, time for some Friday birthdays in the 4 states, and we are going to start in Galesburg with Alex Peck celebrating birthday number 8.
And a happy 26th birthday to Braden Smith in Dennis.
And in Wichita, Jonna Sanchez is celebrating birthday number 31. Happy birthday.
And in Chanute, a happy 74th birthday to Robert Travis.
And Jenna Zom in Columbus celebrating birthday number 84, says happy birthday to a special lady from your family and church family.
And a happy 38th anniversary to David and Tanya Smedley in Thayer.
I think it's reasonable to say they're probably Chiefs fans based on that photo there. And Ryan Rayo in Pittsburgh celebrating another year wiser today. Happy birthday.
And our digital marketing director here at KOAM, Amanda Salgado, celebrating her birthday today as well.
And last but certainly not least, Barbara Grizzle celebrating another year wiser as well. And a very happy birthday and anniversary to everyone on our list. And of course, if you would like to celebrate with us, and I mean, who wouldn't, Elise has information that you need to know.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and your anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. When you're submitting, be sure to include those wonderful photos and messages to also meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen. And please include the date of your celebration when you submit as well.
And of course, that is some very, very important information for you. And got some important weather information for you as well. Got a few clouds out there, transitioning back more to partly cloudy skies, and that's the expectation for a good portion of this day. But a great view live look downtown Pittsburgh as we head over to Joplin. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. Got sunshine out there as well. A few clouds. Otherwise, a very warm start to the day. Very warm start to the day. As we head late evening, we're going to see scattered thunderstorm chances building in late tonight. Some of those could be strong to low-grade severe. We have a very narrow corridor for an isolated large hail risk out there. And then we have a slightly broader corridor for isolated damaging wind gusts from some of the stronger storms. Again, if they intensify to that point, could get some damaging wind gusts out there. But these are all level 1 out of 5 risks, which is certainly good. So what we're looking at is still, again, not too dissimilar from what we saw yesterday on Future Track. We're looking at about noon. afternoon, we'll get some isolated showers, maybe some thunderstorms initially confined into the western fringes of our area. And then those will kind of die out. And then we'll actually get the main complex of storms that'll roll in starting about 10 o'clock. And that's still on track from yesterday as well, pushing southeast. And it's these storms that are going to bring that opportunity, at least for some of us, for that strong to low grade severe threat as we head through the overnight hours tonight and into early Saturday. So you can see they kind of weaken and they might try and re-intensify a bit as they push a little further south. So something, and this is early Saturday, so you want to make sure you're paying close attention, especially if you're heading out camping this weekend. Maybe you're heading out tonight. You just want to make sure you've got a good place to be just in case. You don't want to get caught up in one of these. We'll have scattered storms through the morning on Saturday and into the late morning hours, and then a little pause before new development takes place Saturday afternoon. And some of the storms again on Saturday could be strong to low grade severe, but they're really confined in the southeastern 2/3 of our area. Sunday, that threat confined a little further south and east, but still out there, but it's still another round for some strong to low grade severe storms starting early. Sunday morning, 5 a.m., we start seeing these storms, and by 8, they're lifting up to the north. Our first initial rounds of storms are really moving almost northwest to southeast. Some of our storms this afternoon might move west to east, but by Sunday, they're coming up from the south, but you'll see they are really confined in the southern fringes of our area before they begin to fizzle out as well. So here's our threat risks for tomorrow. We have that isolated hail risk out there, so some large hail possible with some of the stronger storms on Saturday and some damaging wind gusts possible as well. As we take a look at the 3-day outlook, so again, you've got today, you've got tomorrow, and then you've got Sunday, where, as you saw in Future Track, through about noon, that threat really confined in the southern half of our area. And again, the primary concerns with any of these is going to be for large hail, damaging wind gusts out there, so something we'll, of course, keep a close eye on. It's just, it kind of stinks, you know, it'd be better if it would do this during the week, when you're not going to have a weekend full of fun, maybe going to the lake, the creek, the pool, camping, whatever the case may be. But no, it has to happen during the weekend, which is just the way Mother Nature likes to do it. But with that said, in all seriousness, you really want to make sure that you got the KOAM Skywatch weather app and you're paying close attention to any kind of event that pops up and keeping a close eye on the thunderstorms. And of course, the big deal is when thunder roars, head indoors. Live look, 7th at Rangeline. You can see again some of those clouds, so those partly cloudy skies. We're going to go back up near 80 by 8 a.m. Some of us are already there, and you might cool back another couple of degrees and then turn around, start warming up. Mid-80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Heat index values today could easily reach 100 degrees again like they did yesterday across the area. So if you are outdoors, just make sure you're staying hydrated, taking breaks, finding shade, finding cool spots when you can. Just take care of yourself out there. We're going to have another look at your forecast because Mother Nature, while she may rain on our weekend parade, she's going to help us out next week. We'll talk about that. We'll also have a look at your wake up recap as well. And when we transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or as we mentioned before, if you're streaming us on KOAM Plus, you don't have to do anything. And we're going to tell you about a unique summer program that's bringing kids, seniors, and future service dogs together in a heartwarming partnership.
This is your Wake Up Recap for July 11th. The top stories to start your day. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe signed into law a repeal of the voter-approved paid sick leave and minimum wage law. The law was just approved 8 months ago, but the governor described the law as a, quote, an onerous mandate that imposed burdensome record keeping. A proposed ballot initiative is already in the works that would reinstate the repealed provisions, but would have the additional protections as a constitutional amendment. The Missouri governor also signed a bill into law that encourages college students to report hazing and to stay with the victim. The law was enacted after Danny Santoli of the University of Missouri became permanently disabled in a hazing incident. Many colleges across the country have updated their hazing policies proactively because of Danny's law. And a ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrates a new housing addition in Carthage. According to the Carthage Chamber of Commerce, these developments highlight the recent boom in Carthage. Now, with that boom, housing has become more needed, with a recent housing study showing hundreds of more homes will be needed in future years in the city. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we've got ourselves hot and muggy conditions out there. Temperatures into the low 90s. Heat index values will once again approach 100 degrees. Southwest winds gusting to 25. Partly cloudy skies. Afternoon, isolated storms at this point still mainly in our western counties. Nothing strong or severe expected, at least with this initial activity. But as we go later into the night, that's when we'll start to see those chances for stronger storms increase a bit. Isolated storms again through the evening. After 10, we'll get a complex of storms coming in from the northwest that'll push to the southeast, and that'll bring us more scattered storms across the area overnight. Also brings us the strong to low grade severe thunderstorm threat. So at this point, still some large hail is possible, but the greater concern is going to be with the possibility of damaging winds with some of the stronger storms. Low 70s tonight. Southwest winds still gusting to 20. As we head into the weekend, we still have Saturday and Sunday, at least for some of us, the risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms. Wind and hail still the primary concerns. Temperatures falling a bit below normal. A little closer to normal Monday. More storms, hot, muggy, and uncomfortable again Tuesday. More scattered storm chances Wednesday. Temperatures falling below normal for the second half of next week before we heat back up again by next weekend.
All right, and coming up today at noon, we're making blueberry lemon ice cream sandwiches in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Is Superman the hero DC Comics need to revive its universe? Well, coming up, why the new film is a high-stakes bet for the studio and the entire superhero genre.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, plans for the Joplin Regional Airport get ready for takeoff.
And Shannon Becker back in the studio with his big 3 stories of the week. It's going to wrap it up for us for now, though. We will be back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.